same old car I got in, like I never moved away. The seat was still a little low on my side, and your hand found the wheel like it knew the way. We left the driveway with the windows cracked, warm air slipping in over the dash. A kid on a bike cut across the street, and you laughed quick and surprised. I watched the porch lights blur in the glass, your profile in the passing glow. We talked in pieces, easy and small, like neither of us needed to know. For a minute it felt simple, like the years were just a door. Your smile fit the night again, and I almost asked for more. For a minute it felt simple, with the radio turned down low, but I could hear the ending in the spaces we both leave. We stopped for drinks at the corner store. You held the door, I said thanks, then smiled. We stood by the freezer with our hands full, talking about your sister worked the heat. You told me one story I'd heard before, and I still laughed at the same exact part. It felt like muscle memory, a hand on a scar that didn't hurt. Then the car went quiet at the red, nothing broken, nothing wrong, just that soft, careful pause when the joke has already gone. For a minute it felt simple, like the years were just a door. Your smile fit the night again, and I almost asked for more. For a minute it felt simple, with the radio turned down low, but I could hear the ending in the spaces we both leave. By the lake we didn't get out, just watched the water catch the lamps. You traced a circle on your cup, I traced the seam along my palm. I thought about the way we used to fit, how easy hands can find the shape, and how some things still know your name even after they change. So I kept my voice light when you asked if I was good. I said yeah, I'm alright now, and then in more than I should. So I let the night be enough, let it stay where it was, warm, ordinary and real, a little broken, still kind. When you dropped me off we didn't lean in, we just stood there in the driveway air. You said take care, I said you too, and watched your taillights disappear. We came back from the corner store with peaches warm in the paper sack. The bus rolled by on Maple, and you laughed at something I forgot to say. Your shoulder brushed the screen door like it knew the way in by heart, and the room kept its calm old shape as if we had never pulled apart. The air stayed soft on the windows, held the smell of cut grass and rain. You asked me about the butcher, the blue house, the dog on the next block again. I answered like it was nothing, like years could fold up small, and every pause between our sentences landed easy, almost natural. For a second I stood still, listening to my own pulse slow down. Wondering if the miles had finally lost their name somehow. You looked at me, then passed me to the hot clock, to the dim porch glow, and I felt the old current move through the little space we know. We sat where the fan was turning, making a quiet circle in the heat. You nudged a ring on the table, I traced a crack in the paint with my feet. Nothing about you was urgent, nothing about me was brave. Still the night kept opening wider with every unforced thing we gave. Then you smiled at the dark yard like you heard the last train fade, and I knew we were borrowing time from a place neither one of us named. So when you reached for your keys, we didn't rush the doorway light, just stood there in the warm hall air, holding the shape of this night. No promise left our mouths, only that careful kind of care. You stepped into the summer street and I stayed with the soft heat there. The neighborhood kept moving, one porch then the next, then gone, and I let the goodbye be gentle while dawn waited off somewhere beyond.
Your coat was still damp from the earlier rain. You said my name once, like testing the shape. I kept both hands steady at the edge of the wheel and asked if the train line had treated you well. The radio found a song neither of us knew, small enough to fit between your replies. Your face in the side glass kept drifting with mine. At red after red, we moved without trying. You talked about work and your brother's new place. I watched the crosswalk wash white in the shade. When you laughed, I answered, too quick, too light, like the car could keep pace if I stayed in the night. I missed the turn by the bakery without looking down. Took the longer road past the hardware and bins. You glanced at the sign, then back to the road ahead, as if the whole city were a thing we had missed. Yeah, your street came into view, one house at a time. Porch bowls, mailbox, hedge line, the usual small claims. The engine kept turning, the same patient note, and neither of us reached for the latch right away. You said, "This is me," and let the sentence hang. I nodded once as the meter still ran. There was nothing to rescue, nothing to rewrite, just the curb, the dim glass, and the cool of the night. So I put the car in park where the street lamp fell on the crease of your sleeve, and the key in your hand, what we knew by heart, sat quietly in place. Remembering the road was not turning it back. Your screen door stuck on the hinge that night, and I laughed while you leaned your shoulder in. The bowl of peaches on the counter, sweating through a paper napkin.
Your cousin's truck was gone by 10. The yard still held the hose line shine.
You tucked your feet under my chair like you had already crossed that line.
I remember the bus stop bench, the moth circle in that yellow sign.
How you kept stealing my fries, and I let you take the last one every time.
We walked home slow past the laundromat with that warm wind lifting your hair.
I thought, this is the kind of small moment that keeps becoming more than share. You had paint on your wrist from work, I had dust on my cuffs from the week. We talked about nowhere in particular, and somehow it felt complete.
You asked if I'd ever stay too long, anywhere I really liked.
I said maybe if it still feels easy, and you smiled like you heard me right.
I thought the night was doing what good nights sometimes do on their own. Two people sitting close enough to forget they came from different homes. And if I reach for that old porch light, I still see the shape of your grin.
I keep wondering, quiet as a thumbprint, if we could have lived inside it.
I remember the ice melting slow in the jar you used for water. The way you said my name like you were trying it on softer.
Your radio hummed in the next room while I watched the fan move dust. And I knew just by how the silence felt we were building two different trusts.
You were speaking in long rows, I was counting doorway steps. You were leaving room for forever, I was measuring what was left. Nothing dramatic, nothing cruel, just a lamp that stayed too bright.
And all that stayed unsaid between us sat there plainly in the light.
I thought if I named it, it would tilt, and we both have to watch it change. So I folded that thought away like a receipt in my jacket seam.
You were kind in the way you held everything as if it could endure.
I was already seeing distance in the edge of the table's blur.
I still can taste that chipped plastic cup and
hear the screen tap in the frame.
I still can feel the room go still
when I chose not to say your name.
Maybe closeness was the first small thing
we ever made without a plan.
Maybe truth was just two meanings
passing through the same night wind.
What I called a beginning,
what I knew was a turn,
and still it was real.
It was real.
The peach bowl, the screen door, your laugh in the dark,
the fan, the jar, the wordless part.
Real enough to keep, real enough to leave.
Held by the same July,
understood differently.
Held by the same July,
and that was enough for
me. Yeah. We slid into the seat like it was already ours. Takeout bag tipping on the floor by your shoes. You shut the door soft and the world went smaller. A bus hissed past us, then nothing but your thumb on the seam of your sleeve. I watched the deli sign blink from gold to red, the corner store gate half pulled down for the night. You said I should, and left it hanging there. My phone face down, kept lighting up anyway. I didn't reach for it, you didn't ask me to. The dash went dim when you killed the engine. The car gave one last little shiver through the frame, like it has something to say. Outside the crosswalk counted down in silence, and two strangers crossed with their bags to their chests as if they knew exactly where to go. Your eyes found mine, then moved to the windshield as if looking straight would tip the hour too far. I laughed at a song stuck under the station static. You smiled once and turned that smile into nothing. Still neither of us opened the door. The rearview mirror held a strip of traffic glow, and the glass began to collect our breath. Somewhere a scooter turned and the sound thinned out, the way a ribbon does when you pull it too fast from the tied up box. You rubbed your hands on your jeans twice. I traced the seam where the armrest cracked, and the car kept cooling like it was learning us. The bakery across the road rolled its metal shade down. A last delivery cart rang once at the curb. You asked, you good? So quiet I almost called it a dare. I said, yeah, I'm good. I meant the space between your question and my answer, more than the words. Then the signal at the corner went from walk to red to walk again. For nobody we knew, your shoulders shifted just enough to touch mine. Not on purpose, not by accident. I looked at your hand, resting near the gear shift, and you looked away like that was the truest thing. Neither of for one night to matter. Not a promise, not a plan, just the part where we stayed inside the unspoken. A police siren passed, far enough to be weather. The windshield held our reflections in layers. You turned the key once, without starting anything, just listening to the engine. Wake and settle, wake and settle. I knew then that not know was doing more than an answer could. Two people borrowing time from a street that kept changing, and neither of us asking for the receipt. Took the long way home, past the shuttered bakery. Your shoulder brushed mine like you still knew the route. One earbud each, your song in my left ear. I nodded like I'd heard it before you played it. We passed the florist, all the roses folded, and you said, remember that spring? And I said, which version? At the corner deli you slowed for the locked doors. The whole block might open for us. We didn't ask about offices, apartments, names, just traded the weather and laughed at the safe parts. You told it one way, I told it another. Same crowded bus stop, different missing umbrella. Your grin hit first and the years behind it, easy as a hand finding the railing again. We kept our questions small enough to carry, like coins in a pocket, like crumbs in a sleeve. The avenue emptied out, the bakery glass went dark, and still our steps kept matching their old shape. We stopped by the bookstore, its gates pulled halfway down. You said you bought a novel there for a girl you almost knew. I laughed too hard at the name you forgot. You swore I'd borrowed it and I swore I returned it. The street cleaner moved by, making a silver river around our shoes, and neither of us crossed it. Some things stay light because they're never tested, kept in the soft room where nothing has to decide. You looked at the sky, I looked at your hands, both of us acting like that was nothing. By the bus shelter you finally asked my laugh, not my life, just the sound of it. I heard the shape of years and the pause between us, how easily we fit and how carefully we didn't. A cat cut across the road, then vanished under a van, like a thought that knew when to leave. So we walked on to almost in motion, not broken, just unfinished on purpose. Your earbud slipped free and hung between us for a second, like a tiny bright thread. Then you tucked it back and smiled at the corner where the old train line used to rattle the air. We said goodnight without making it heavy, and the city held us the way a hand holds warmth. Not everything needs a door left open. Some things stay alive because they know how to stop.
I took the long way home, past the old convenience store, where the soda buzzing, the bell still hung in the door. The light immerser takes its time, like it knows I'm not in a rush. I kept both hands on the wheel and let the engine do enough. I know the street without the map, every broken curb and fence, the laundromat with one red sign, the bakery that closed last winter. At the intersection I turned it down, the song faded under tires. Same chip mug in a window, same pale blind, same morning wires. I didn't circle her block, I just kept moving through, but my eyes found the building before I told them to. Third floor, corner unit, one plant in the glass. I almost looked straight up, then let the moment pass. There was no story left to chase, just a lane I hadn't left behind. And the small hard fact of it arriving clean inside my mind. Funny how a route can hold what you never asked it to. A checkout line, a cracked dashboard, a Thursday shaped like you. Not grief exactly, more like weather on the skin. I drove on knowing some doors stay closed from within. So I passed her window and kept my distance steady. The road went where it goes, and I was already ready. The table held the last of the cups, white rings drying into the wood. Your life found mine on its own again, like a path we still remembered.
The garden had gone half quiet, just a few voices drifting by. Someone called names toward the driveway, and the air turned cooler on my arms.
I watched you talk with your hand, same small turn at the wrist. It fit the evening so easily, it almost
Looked unchanged, but I knew the map behind it, the miles, the work, the rooms, how life can split two people
and leave the habit of this one. I came in late to the table with the dark settling in from the fence. You smiled the way you always did, like the room had room for me.
I thought maybe the night was saying what neither of us would say aloud. Your voice stayed soft at the edges, and I mistook that for a door.
The others were packing leftovers, folding chairs, finding shoes.
Somebody laughed by the sink while the last light thinned out.
I stood there careful with my hope, watching you set your cup aside. I told myself there was time, that warmth could mean a start.
You mentioned the street in your new town. I told you the weather here. We spoke in those easy circles people make when they still care.
No one had to translate anything, no one had to reach too far.
Even the pauses felt familiar, like a song heard through a wall.
I saw your face when you listened, open, steady, almost young. It made me kind in a different way, more tender than return.
I wanted to leave you nothing but a clean, untroubled hour, so I kept my words simple and let the evening be enough.
When you asked if I was driving, it sounded like concern, not a sign. You laughed at something small I said, and I held it up too high.
The porch light hit the driveway, and the night air sharpened fast. People were saying their goodbyes with hugs that lasted one beat longer.
I followed you down the walk, past the grass still warm from day. For a second I matched your pace and almost built a future there.
Then you reached for your keys, and the shape of it all came clear. You were kind in the plainest way,
the kind that asked for nothing back.
The cars waited under trees,
Dark windows, soft reflection.
the gravel shifted under our steps.
Small sounds in a bigger silence.
You carried what was yours,
You carried what was yours.
I kept my smile where it belonged.
I let my wanting go quiet.
So we stood in the cooler dark.
Two people meeting the same hour.
You were gentle and I understood,
I was gentle,
and I knew. The last cups in the table light, the far off talk, the closing doors. You called it almost something new. I called it kindness and goodbye, and both were true. And both were true. Your message landed plain in the smoke, like an invoice beside the mail. No weather, no apology, just you around and a timestamp glow. I stared at it too long, as if the screen might blink first. The room stayed exactly itself, the chair, the cup, ring, the folded shirt. And still you came back in pieces, not as a storm, not as a wound, just the exact weight of your name settling into my hands again. I typed 3 starts and erased them, sure. Looked cold, of course, sounded practiced. Hey, it's been a while. Felt like opening a door I had already shut. So I walked the length of the apartment, counting the loose boards near the hall. I checked the lock twice for no reason, rinsed the glass I wasn't going to use. At the window, the black turned thin, the buildings lost their hard edges. I watched the first pale lines spill under the blinds and across the floor. Maybe you meant only this, a hand reaching out of habit, a name sent in the dark, because the night was wide and you were bored. Maybe that should be enough, maybe it already is. It unsent in the draft, not as punishment, not to be read as longing. I wanted to keep the moment where it was still just a message, small enough to hold, ordinary enough to survive. Morning finally touched the room, the kettle stayed quiet. My phone lay face up, harmless, and I let the light do does. I didn't need to turn it into a sign, I didn't need to name the ache, I only needed the soft fact of it. Something old moved and rested.
the diner, laughing at something we forgot to name. Your sleeve brushed my wrist when you turned at the curb. I matched your pace on purpose, then matched it again slower, like the pavement had more to say than either of us did. At the corner I chose the longest street, past the laundromat with its metal gate down. You looked over once then kept walking, as if you noticed and let it live. A bus side far off on the avenue, and the crosswalk blinked alone. I kept my hands in my pockets to give the night some room. We paused under a closed storefront, beside a poster curling at the edges. You leaned in to read the dead hours. I fixed my eyes on the glass where our reflections stood a little apart, then drifted closer in the dark when you said something about the weather. I answered like it mattered. By your building not mention the bakery, the one that opens too early, and you laughed like you knew the trick. The pocket gone almost still, no radios, no doors, no late vans, just our shoes and the stray hum from an apartment fan. You took the key out slowly, and I learned how real a moment can be, even when it only belongs to one night and the shape it left behind.
The rain quit quick as it started. We stepped out from the awning slow. Store windows held the puddles all broken up with yellow glow. Your sleeve still clung to your arm, mine did too. At the cuff we laughed at how the storm picked the exact wrong time to show up. I said, now the sky's all done. You said, yeah, it had its say. Careful joke, small smile, like we were trying not to name the day. At the corner we both slowed down. Cars hissed through the shining slush. Our footsteps thinned to almost nothing as the crossing light turned red enough. I watched you glance at my hands, then away before I could. The air smelled like wet brick and oranges from the corner stand up the block. You asked if I still take sugar the way I used to back then. I said only when I need it, and we both knew what that meant. Leaving dark maps by the curb. A bike chain clicked somewhere behind us, clear as a thought I didn't disturb. You told me about your train line, I told you about my week. Nothing heavy, just enough to keep the quiet from turning bleak. By the laundromat you shook off a drop from your wrist with a grin. Not a move that asked for more, just proof that we were still here in it. So maybe this is all it is. Two people walking home the same way. No promise tucked inside our pockets. No speech we have to say. Still on the street, caught the last rain, and your reflection bent beside mine. I felt the oldies returning like a chair pulled out in time. We reached the avenue and stopped. The day had nearly let us go. I looked at you, you looked at me, and let the answer stay below.
The others went down first, Laughing through the stairwell door, we stayed by the low wall. 2 cups, both barely touched the slab, still held the day warm through the soles of my shoes. Your phone lit up once, then went face down again. We talked about your landlord, the broken lock in the hall, how the corner bodega runs out of ice too soon. The wind changed shape up there, slipped under your sleeve, then left. You pulled your hair back slow and watched the avenue blink below. I said the trains were late, you said the sky looked washed. Somewhere a siren crossed, then got small before it reached us. Your drink moved in your hand, more water than anything else. I noticed when you leaned in just to catch the end of my sentence. That was the first real silence, not awkward, just full. The kind that asks for honesty unless you keep your hands. I knew the usual exits, the easy joke, the grin, but the night felt larger because neither of us named it. You glanced at the dark stair door, then back to my face. No rescue came from downstairs, and neither of us wanted one. So we stayed with the breeze, with the cups, with the concrete, with the small unspoken distance that made the hour matter. We stood under the schedule board, watching the same word
Delay.
The platform was almost empty, just one man asleep on a bench, and a kid in a school jacket kicking his heel against the tile.
Your paper cup went cold in your hand, mine had that last sip of tea.
Too bitter to finish,
Too slow to leave.
the vending machine kept glowing, blue on your coat sleeve like it had chosen you.
Out of the dark,
We said so little, it made room for everything.
your laugh from earlier still warm in the air.
I kept thinking how easy it felt to walk beside you again.
No script, no hurry,
Just the wet shine of the track.
and both of us looking there.
A train sign flashed, arrival changed, then
Changed again
and I caught myself believing the night had found its way back
to a door we left open.
somewhere by accident.
I watched the platform thin out one by one with the tired commuters. A woman in flats rubbed her eyes, a man rolled a scarf tight. Someone checked their phone, then gave up and tucked it away.
The vending machine buzzed and dropped the can into its metal throat.
So loud it made us both smile.
That smile, that shared silence,
The way we leaned toward the same patch of light.
without needing to name it.
I liked the smallness of it, the waiting,
The way your shoulder stayed near mine.
without asking for more.
When the announcement crackled, all softened edges and static breath, I felt the night holding still.
Just long enough to be worth remembering.
Not a promise, not a door swinging wide,
Just a clear, unhurried moment
that belonged to us.
for a while.
Then the rails began to speak,
That far off metal murmur growing under our feet,
and everything in me went quiet.
so I could keep it exactly as it was.
I heard the train before I saw it, that low turning sound rounding the curve.
The platform lights seemed to lean as if they wanted to watch too.
Your face half gold, half shadow,
I wanted to say this could be the start
of something steady,
something we might learn.
without rushing,
Not a grand return,
just to care for one.
built from ordinary nights, and the way you still know how I stand when I'm tired.
The wind came first, then the front windows, and the long bright body sliding in with a sigh. Your bag shifted,
My hand stayed where it was at my side.
open, useless, honest. I love that we have found each other again in a place that asks for nothing
but a ticket and patience,
and I wanted the dark between stations
to mean what I felt it could mean.
When the train pulled up, the doors lined the platform like they were waiting for everyone else first.
I looked at the seats inside, the sleep-heavy faces,
The scuffed floor, the pale reflection of us in the glass.
I like tonight more than I can explain.
Without making it larger
Then it was,
the way we talked and didn't.
then understood the same pause,
The same bench.
the same cold air touching our wrists.
I'm glad I was here with you,
Glad we let the hour open up and didn't crowd it.
but I'm not stepping back into a shape we already know.
Not tonight,
Maybe not soon.
what I can hold,
Is this platform, this dim blue machine,
the long breath before the doors close,
and the fact that your presence,
made the whole wait feel human.
if nothing else,
I'll keep the sound of your laugh.
in the gap between announcements.
If nothing else, I'll keep the calm of your shoulder near mine.
In the last light under the roof,
We can call it a beginning,
or call it only evening.
we can leave it unargued and let it stay exact.
We stood under the schedule board.
Watching the same word delay.
I love the way the night opened.
I love the way it stayed open.
The train was coming.
The train was coming.
I can keep tonight.
I can keep tonight.
Not the same meaning,
Not the same shape,
just the warm fact of it.
just the warm fact of it. I saw you by the pastry case, coat damp at the shoulders. Same careful look you used to wear when you were about to stay. I took the booth by the window, you slid in opposite mine, like the place had assigned us the last two seats in the room. The coffee cooled untouched, a thin skin on both cups. The menu board blinked over us, half a row missing. Somebody in rubber gloves dragged chairs over tile, and the sound made our silence feel tidy instead of tense. We circled the old names without setting them down. You asked about my work, I asked if your mother still gardens, and each answer arrived with enough room around it for the years we had not spent learning how to speak again. You laughed once, said a wrong word, and I did too. Then we both lowered our voices like the joke might wake the room. The window held our reflection, fogged at the edges, while outside a delivery truck hummed past the curb and on. There was no careful inventory of what broke us apart, just the faint salt of fries nearby and your thumb circle in the mug ring. I noticed your left hand still taps the table before I thought mine still does the same when I am trying to be honest. The waitress topped up our cups and let the check rest there, a small white border between us that neither of us crossed. We looked at it then away like it had become weather, something present, not something to solve. Your story moved in measured pieces, new apartment, long shifts, less sleep. Mine came out plain the way a receipt prints. Not dramatic, just complete enough to hold in one hand, and in the middle of it I felt the old tenderness. Take a seat beside the facts. It surprised me how nothing had to return for this to be kind. How a shape can fit once and still be worth remembering even after it no longer does. You pushed the sugar packet flat, I folded the napkin edge, and we both understood the gesture when you smiled at the dent in the vinyl across from me. I saw the person who knew my worst cafeteria moods, the one who could hear my quiet before I named it, and I let the memory stay without asking it to leave. We left the dishes stacked and the receipts aligned. The staff were already turning chairs up, one table at a time. Outside, the glass held our faces in one thin layer of night, and I walked out lighter for having loved you without trying to make it fit again.
I saw you by the rail with your hands in your sleeves, like you'd only stepped out for a minute, not years. A bike cut past us fast, chain ticking in the air. You laughed at the wobble like you always did. The wind came warm through the trees and moved the leaves in waves. We started walking slow like we knew the ground. You still tap your thumb twice before you answer hard things. I noticed it and smiled before I meant to. Across the water, new windows started up one by one, then whole rows caught in the dark. We talked, plain, no circling, no pushing, doors shut tight. What hell would fail, what change would never would. We start with a path ends by the old stone steps. The river took on color from the lights across it. You looked out, not at me, and I let that be enough. Some years only teach what to carry on. So I thank the small days, the shared keys, the dry jokes, the maps we drew and lost before they ever needed framing. Then you turned toward your street, and I watched you go, not as a wound, just a life that was real. And I walked the water line with a fuller chest, grateful for the almost and for what it gave us.
Yeah. I came in for towels and socks, arms full of yesterday's rain. He was by the folding counter, dark cap, red scarf, familiar name. The room was nearly empty, just one cart with a bent wheel, fluorescent light on both our faces, like we'd stepped into something sealed. We nodded like old co-workers, like neighbors sharing a hall. He pointed at the plastic table, 2 coins circling by the wall. An abandoned magazine lay open to a travel ad. I laughed at the torn out corner, and he said, yeah, that looks bad. We sat beside the dryers, our coats still holding winter air. Warm clothes came off in careful stacks, sweaters folded square by square. He asked if I was eating right, I asked if he still drove that truck. The low machine noise filled the spaces where harder sentences got stuck. A blue ring spun behind the glass, then one drum quit ahead of the rest. We both looked up at the same time, caught in that small unplanned request. He reached and let the button wait. I stood then sat again. The pause was thin as dryer lint, and neither of us pretended. first. He stayed with his hand on the door. Steam drifted from a hoodie sleeve onto the checkered linoleum floor. I asked for change for the machine. He dug one dime from his pocket. The coin slid once across the table, soft as a thought you don't unlock yet. Outside, a bus I passed the glass and rain trace seams along the curb. He told me the heat in his apartment made every February blur. I said I'd learn to sleep with windows cracked just to hear the pipe settle. He smiled at that, then looked away like we were both respecting a signal. The last basket emptied slowly. We shook out cuffs, matched up pairs. No one named the missing season, but neither of us acted scared. He held the door while I carried a stack of shirts through the draft. We stood under the awning, listening to the washers fading in the back. At the corner, we split the block without promising a thing. Still, I kept the warmth of that room under my coat like a quiet ring. And the night went on around me, plain and white and almost kind. Two people in a laundromat, not starting over, just arriving in time.
By the back fence gap, plastic cups in the grass. Your wristband hangs half torn, mine stuck on from last night. The stage is still blinking behind us, but the pavement starts talking first. Food trucks are folding metal doors, grease-smelling paper trays. Somebody's laughing near the rise, then that sound drifts off. My ears still ring in the open air, and your voice lands clear. You ask about the song I skipped. I tell you I like the second one. We pass a vendor sweeping fries, gold coins under his broom. Nothing here feels rushed now, just two people out of the noise. Side street, slow steps, summer cooling on our skin. Crosswalk glow, half lit. We both keep pausing in it, not saying too much, still not ready to split. Side street, slow steps, that's where the night turns personal. Your shoelace drags near the curb. You laugh and stop to fix it. I watch the traffic count down, red hand on the pole. Across the avenue, the Ferris wheel turns like it's thinking it over. We wait beside a cracked signpost, shoulder to shoulder, not touching. The empty bus aside, past us, windows full of our reflections. I learned the shape of your silence, how it doesn't need filling. Side street, slow steps, summer cooling on our skin. Crosswalk glow, half lit. We both keep pausing in it, not saying too much, still not ready to split. Side street, slow steps, that's where the night turns personal. You look left, then look back, like you're measuring the block. I say I'm good to keep walking, though I don't move right away. Maybe this is only a corner, maybe it's a thing I'll remember. The light changes over us, and neither of us goes first. At the curb we trade one more story, then watch a couple passing neon shorts. The music is a blur behind the buildings, the last bright bruise of sound. You step out, then slow again, and I do too. car coughed once and settled into a limp. We coasted under the flickering vacancy sign.
Paint peeling from the office door, warm pavement still holding the day.
You left your hand on the hood like you could steady the whole trip by touch. I watched you twist the cap and hand me the water first, as if distance had never taught us new habits.
The room key hung on a plastic tag, blue numbers above a stairwell, and the vending machine glowed. Through the ice in a bruised little window, you carried my bag without asking. I held the door before you reached it.
Down by the curb, distant trucks kept moving, their low engines folding into the dark.
We stood with the open car doors, and the radio faded to a thin breath, then went quiet with the rest of us.
I noticed how easy it still was to make room for each other, to pass the bottle, to say watch your step, to let the silence sit between us without
making it heavier. The clerk didn't look up much, we didn't need more than a key, a lamp with the yellow shade, and the kind of night that asks you
to be practical, not poetic.
I saw the stop and read too much into it. A dying engine on a roadside lot, a lighted sign blinking over chipped concrete. Felt like a door I'd left half open, finally swinging back toward me.
I told myself the detour meant something, that the slow pull into the shoulder was a second chance disguised as trouble.
Your hand on the door handle, my hand on the wheel, both of us pretending we were only dealing with the car.
Inside I watched you pour half the water into the cup lid from the ice machine, then push the rest my way. That small thing
hit harder than it should have. It felt like you still knew where my tired edges were.
I wanted to say more,
wanted the room number, the buzzing light over the mirror,
the smell of soap and hot dust,
to turn into a story with a cleaner ending than this.
But all I really had was the sight of you in the doorway.
One shoe off, one shoe still on, tied in a way I remembered, familiar in a way I had mistaken for permission.
So I kept my voice low,
I checked the oil,
I listened to the engine
after I turned the key again,
and it caught on the first hard try,
shaking off the silence
like it had somewhere to be.
That little shudder in the motor was enough to change the shape of the night.
We stood beside the open trunk and watched the tail end of our pause
slip back into the road.
I let the moment be what it was,
not a return, not a verdict, just two people who still know how to lift a bag,
share a bottle,
and wait out a problem together. The drive goes on, the past stays where it was.
We can head east with the windows down
and still leave the old rooms behind. The road will take us forward, the road will take us forward.